There are those of us who live in a dream world, or maybe they're trying to trick the population who may not be aware of the situation. But I live in the world of reality. And the reality is that there is organized criminal violence that is at a level that threatens the state. It threatens the security and safety of every Jamaican. You just need to ask the people in the communities that face it daily. The people who complain about the SOEs are not the people who benefit from them in the communities where they have to hide under their beds, hide their daughters, can't go to church, and they see their sons and their boyfriends and husbands killed. That's a reality. The government is trying to build up our capacity so that we can respond without the suspension of or abrogation or abridging of any rights that would normally apply. So there is this false notion about proximity policing and more boots on the ground. There has been no administration that has increased the size of our security forces like this one. None. Just last week, 300 more security officers, police, were placed into service. And a month before, I attended the graduation of 300 more. And before that, there were 300 more. Before, our attrition rate was greater than our recruitment rate. Now, with this new commissioner, our recruitment rate far exceeds the attrition rate, by far. Under the JDF, we have expanded the JDF from about 4,000. CDS, where are we now? Rubbish that argument about not putting enough boots on the ground. No other administration has. We have. You talk about proximity policing. This administration has increased the tactical effectiveness and efficiency of the police force, where they are using intelligence to nab the criminals at the point at which they are planning or committing crimes. And you would have seen the evidence of this brought into media, plus several others which have not made it to the media. We're capturing them as they traverse the highways. Not to mention the over 300 murders that we prevent from happening each year, which doesn't make the media. You would know about it. But there are those who are entrenched in the system for only political reasons, who parade as if they are independent, but they are political activists trying to obfuscate, confuse. For what purpose? To save your life? No, to gain power. I ask you to be wary of those persons. They don't have your interest at heart. Emergency powers are an important part of any society. Our Constitution places serious restrictions on how they are used because of the history of how they were used before. I am mindful of this because it was my political organization that suffered under the misuse by the very administration that is now pretending as if somehow they have recently discovered a passion for constitutional and human rights matters. It is not the intention of the government to abuse these powers. And in the various iterations of the SOEs, we have improved the regulations, taking into consideration the public debate, taking into consideration the arguments put forward by our courts, which we welcome. It has helped to refine the measure as it is provided for in the Constitution. But I wish to use this platform today to make it absolutely clear that those who take comfort that the opposition will continue to derail the government's attempt to save lives and reduce violence, that there is no such comfort to be had, because the government will be relentless on all fronts to combat your criminal and violent intent. All fronts. I am disappointed that we do not have a unified front. Now, can you imagine if the leader of the opposition had come to his senses 3 years ago? Let us say it was his idea about pre-charge detention. Let's give it to him because he tried to claim it. Why not come with that idea when we proposed detentions, instead of vehemently opposing, and proposing nothing, and then now try to use the non-production of the ESMA as an excuse for not supporting the SOEs? They have no real care about anyone's life. In everything that they have said, not one statement about saving lives. Not one. My job is to ensure that my people are safe. And I will not stop until that is achieved.